92.5.
It's Shelley Easton, and I'm with Austin Webb. This is so exciting, Austin. You've been a great friend of this radio station. I mean, even though a lot of people kind of think that you're a newcomer to country, you've been on the road for like 15 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I've been on the road for 12. I went out when I was 15, and up and down the East Coast, including Philadelphia and down, and it's been a long ride. But I am still happy to be called a newcomer.
Isn't it great, though? Think about this. You started when you were so young. Like, you're going to be able to be super famous for so much longer. Have you ever thought about that?
I don't worry about that as much as you think. I just try to focus on the fans as much as I can. And as long as I can keep building fans and keep getting shows, as long as I can keep doing what I'm doing, I'll be okay.
And that's really what it's about, though, the passion for what you're doing. So was this the dream, obviously, since you started so young, for as long as you can remember?
It is. I started writing songs when I was a little kid. When I was 9 years old, I wanted to play the Grand Ole Opry, get a record deal, and start touring the road. And I've done all those in reverse. But, I love it all.
So tell me about your mother, because I'm guessing that since you started so young, there was an amazing woman behind Austin Webb.
Absolutely. My mom's the reason I got into country music. It's actually a pretty funny story.
Okay.
So when I was a little kid in the early 90s, you couldn't get a tattoo in South Carolina. You had to either get a tattoo in Georgia or somewhere else. So I remember being a little kid in the backseat of my mom's white Ford Taurus with burgundy red interior, her screaming out Joe D. Messina on the radio, "I'm all right." Marlboro red smoke blowing in my face. I'm sitting in the back with a Dairy Queen. And she goes into the tattoo parlor, sitting up on a stool, smoking a cigarette, hanging out of her mouth, scratching off a lottery ticket, and getting Elvis TCB tattooed on her ankle. And at that point, I looked up and I said, you know what? I'm going to be a country singer. There is no other option for me in life at this point.
That's an amazing story. And that brings us to today. You've got a brand new single on the radio. We're playing it on 92.5 XTU. So tell us about your current single.
Well, my new single, All Country on You, is a really exciting song for me. It's a lot of fun. I chose to cut this song. I've written everything else I've recorded, but I chose to cut this song because how much fun it is and how lighthearted it is. And it's a fresh idea that talks about, the guy's perspective from Carrie Underwood, before he cheats, as well as, redneck crazy and stuff like that. It's the guy's perspective of the girls, and it's lighthearted and it's fun. So it's a lot of fun for me to play live.
The fact that you really care about your fans, which is amazing, that kind of puts us with something in common, because at 92.5 XTU, obviously, we feel the very same way.
Absolutely.
But I can tell just by talking to you for these few minutes, and anybody who's watching this video will be sure to know, you are going to be a fan favorite. So congratulations.
That's the goal, As long as I can have people that support me, I'll be doing okay. And Marty Stewart said we all end up in the bargain bin, so enjoy it while you can. So that's all I'm trying to do, is enjoy it and be as nice as I can to as many people as I meet.
I once heard Keith Urban talk about how, he'd go to award shows and he'd move further and further and further up. And once you get to the front row, then you begin to move further and further and further back. And it's awesome to see how much you really appreciate this journey. So taking the journey, if you had to pick out one moment that was sort of defining for you lately, within the last 5 years or so, what would that moment be?
Defining for my career?
Yes, just defining for you personally or defining for you with your career. Just, how we have those light bulb moments where we're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I went to see Chris Christopherson for the first time, and I've always wanted to forever. I went to see him when I was in Phoenix at the Celebrity Theater, and I got front row, side stage, and I just watched, and I was like, this is what it's about, Yeah. That's where I want to be.
This is so corny, but the movie A Star is Born?
Of course I do.
It came on TV with Chris Christopherson, and I started to shed a little tear. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's the best. He's one of my heroes of all time. So, and Barbra Streisand's are pretty cool too, so,
Yeah, but,
Absolutely. Well, she's Barbra Streisand, but,
That's right.
She's the wind beneath my wings. He's, everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's great. Is there anybody else that you really idolize that you're hoping you'll have the chance to meet along the way?
Oh, there's so many people. I'm a country artist, but before that, I'm a country music fan. So I'm a fan of so many of the pioneers and trailblazers in country music. the people that were game changers, you know, like Glenn Campbell, Ronnie Millsap, people that changed the sound of country music. It's always evolving, but people that, you know, made a big impact and
what a lot of people don't realize is that you're on the road a lot, but often don't get to see a lot. So what are some of the greatest places you've never seen?
Oh my gosh, you know, we're in so many different cities all the time, and when I'm in Philadelphia, I mean, I rarely get to go out and experience the city. It's like I'm in and out, or I'm, you know, quick. So I know what you're saying, but there's so many monuments and places, you know, historical landmarks that you miss, right. But you breeze by them, but it's still not the same. So yeah. It is great. I visit everywhere, but you know, it's insane to miss out on some of the things.
You know, here in Philadelphia, you're lucky to be at Xfinity Live because you've got all the ballparks and stadiums all around you.
These Xfinity Live places are awesome. We did one in St. Louis recently. It's so centralized, and everybody can come here. It's right in between the stadiums. I love it here. So, I mean, I love playing these places.
We're going to have to make it an annual event. Will you agree to be the 92.5 XTU house band?
Hey, I can always say I'll do my best to be here.
Love that. Austin Webb, he's already had one top 40 song, and he's got another one that is burning it up the charts right now. Thank you so much for being with us here today, and thanks for being a part of the Broad Street Run.
Thank you, Shelley.